the Hendrick's Gin Library in Brighton, next to the real library, and we're getting ready for a literary feast by what are claimed to be architectural foodsmiths Bompas Parr. Now everyone's here just having a quiet drink beforehand, but soon we'll be heading inside to see what wonders await. This is Sadie Doherty for the Vintage News. I'm here with Sam Bompas of Bompas Parr, who are the masterminds behind tonight's meal. How are you doing?
Very well. A pleasure to meet you.
You too. Can you tell me how you got involved in working with Hendrick's Gin?
Well, we've got a long-standing relationship with Hendrick's. We've been going on fabulous culinary adventures together, I think for about the last 4 years, 3 or 4 years. And it's mind-boggling what we've done. We've had leeches in finger baths, snail hunts crawling across the table. We've obviously started out with a breathable cloud of gin and tonic, which is making a reprisal tonight.
Okay.
But it's been a grand adventure.
So what is your favourite sort of project you've done, either with Hendrick's or independent of them?
Oh gosh, it's a hard one. It's always kind of the most recent one, in many ways, because you're exploring something that you're really obsessed with.
Yeah,
you get to have a good time. So with this, lately we've been fascinated by the Romans and ancient civilizations. So we've been looking at the Satyricon. I guess with this we're brief. We had to do a literary feast. Let's go to the Hendrick's Library.
Of course.
And we've really plundered the fine dining and literature of the past, but we've never gone in on a Roman tip.
Okay.
And this is our chance to recreate, or at least pay tribute to, perhaps the greatest literary feast in history, which is Trimalchio's feast from Satyricon, which is an extraordinary meal. So it has boiled calves coming in wearing meaty helmets. It has the entire signs of the zodiac as a single dish, with sow's udders and pig's eyeballs as delicacies underneath. So we're doing our best to recreate that tonight.
Okay. Having a look online, a lot of the, especially on Twitter, a lot of things regarding Bompas Parr is to do with some crazy golf on the roof of Selfridges. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
All right. This is a project that's going live in about a week's time. And we've taken over Selfridges and are turning it into a cake-based utopia where one can come and play golf. Now we've rendered the 7 wonders of London, the 7 great architectural masterpieces of London, as piece monte, so as pieces of set, and you play golf through them.
Okay.
It's quite a lot of fun.
So how did you come up with such an idea, or any of your ideas?
It's all just drawn of obsession. That particular one was an idea we came up with about 3 years ago. We sent the idea to Selfridges, and they turned around and they're very, very quiet. And I think they were a little bit nervous that when you're 6 floors above Oxford Street, the busiest shopping street in London, knocking golf balls around, there's danger of death from above. And these golf balls come raining down on you. But we've netted the whole thing, so hopefully that won't be a problem.
Also, on your website, it says you specialise in jellies and exploding jellies. How did you did you come at it from jellies and then expand, or have you sort of specialised since? Well,
we've always been keen jelly makers ever since we started. That's what our original passion was. Earlier this year, though, we were working with a photographer on exploding jellies. Now, there's something quite mesmerising, quite hypnotic about good exploding jelly. So we thought it's so much fun. Let's launch it as a service for everyone, and put the service online. Loads and loads of interest. Loads of people calling up. They wanted exploding jellies to their wedding. Of course, it would only be appropriate at a wedding, really, because when you go for a wedding, there's lots of speeches, but quite boring. The explosion wake people up. No one wants to eat the cake anyway.
A bad taste at a funeral, maybe.
Yeah, it depends on the person you're burying.
I suppose,
We've done quite a lot of funeral jellies as well, for some reason. But we had loads and loads of interest. Loads of people called up, and yet no one quite went and commissioned us to make an exploding wedding jelly.
Okay.
So we thought this is our chance to give it a trial run. So we're not quite sure what's going to happen in there tonight.
Okay.
Behind the tent, but it's sure to be quite a lot of fun.
Oh, well, we're going to stick around and we're going to film some of the meal as well. So we look forward to seeing what creations there are. So thank you very much for speaking to us.
Okay, I've managed to waylay David Piper. You're the commander of operations here.
Special operations. Commander of special operations.
Okay, so everything been going together okay, has it?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, it's been
no last minute panic?
No, not on my behalf. Not on my behalf. Maybe it's some of the underlings. But my job is to keep the nonsense as rarefied as possible.
So will you be comparing at all this evening? I'm not sure. I got the impression that there are a few entertainments that are going to be mixed.
There are entertainments. The extent of my involvement will probably be no more than reading out a few quite ribald, they're filthy actually, Roman poems.
Right.
It's a Roman feast we have.
Okay.
Yeah. Based on Trimalchio's feast in the Satyricon.
Not one I've read, I'm afraid, so not as researched as yourself.
It's worth it, and I can't wait to actually taste it in the flesh.
Right. Okay, now, so you're not expecting anyone to be turning up in togas tonight, are you? If it's a Roman-themed evening.
If they did, I'd be very, very happy.
Well,
why not? Why not? But I mean, it depends. I'd be happy. Whether they'd be happy or not depends on how highly they prize their togas, because we're going to finish with the world premiere of Bompas Parr's Exploding Jelly.
Are you, after this closes up the Brighton Festival, so are you heading off somewhere to do something even more madcap? Or are you going to be having a bit of a rest?
No rest for the wicked. There's all sorts going on. We're going to be, the day after this finishes, I've got to host and sponsor a little sort of immersive theatre/musical performance in a secret location in London. And then there's this thing called the Enlightenment Cafe, which is a contemporary scientists and immersive theatre exploring the science of the 17th, 18th and 19th centuries. That moment where Isaac Newton was formulating the laws of physics, which we base our knowledge on today, at the same time as doing utterly bonkers stuff like calculating how many millions of souls were burning in hell at that very moment.
Well, I suppose he had to pay the bills as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Okay, we've come inside the library at the moment. The meal's yet to start, but we don't want to interrupt everyone while they're having their meal. So what we've seen so far looks amazing, and talking to the chaps behind it, it seems like it's going to be quite a spectacle. So we're going to film a little bit once they've started dining, but for now, that's it. This is Sadie Doherty for the Vintage News.